Written and directed by John Carpenter, Prince of Darkness tells the story of a group of academics who are brought together at the request of a priest to uncover the mystery of a previously guarded cylinder of green liquid. There's a lot more at stake here than any of them know. So without further ado, these are some things you didn't know about the Prince of Darkness. The university we see in the film is the same that Carpenter had attended as a film student, the University of Southern California. If the name Martin Quatermass, credited as screenwriter here, rings a bell, there's a reason. This is a fake name used by John Carpenter himself that pays homage to Professor Bernard Quatermass in The Quatermass Experiment, 1953. Carpenter is rather fond of gifting his characters familiar names, as Frank Wyndham is named after author John Wyndham. Likewise, Susan Cabot shares her last name with the lead of The Wasp Woman, 1959. In the scene in which Catherine and Brian are in bed talking, he says, "Who was he? The one that gave you such a high opinion of men." This is a reference to a scene in To Have and Have Not, 1944, where Lauren Bacall says, "Who was the girl, Steve? The one who left you with such a high opinion of women?" Apparently, during the scene in which Dr. Leahy introduces himself, Peter Jason's confusion when Dirac walks away is real. Jason had not been anticipating Wong to do this. The symbol in the bruise Kelly gets is Kronos, or Saturn. It's similar to the ancient Greek symbol meaning chaos. Dr. Leahy's trumpet imitation was Jason's idea, and Brian's cards were Parker's idea. During the scene where the priest gave his speech about the anti-god gaining strength, Pleasence was delivering his lines off-camera. According to Jason, while Pleasence was doing this, he was making faces, which caused the other actors to try not to laugh. The bicycle we see Alice Cooper use to kill Etchinson is one of his own props that he used as an on-stage trick. In order to get the right look for the dream sequence, the footage was actually shot on video and then filmed off of a television. The broadcast dream audio has been sampled by a few different people. DJ Shadow used it in his Introducing album, and Marilyn Manson used it in his song Down in the Park. In order to get the distinct shot of the bag lady running with a raised weapon, the actor stood in one place as a truck carrying bricks goes by behind her. During the scene where Dirac and Dr. Leahy attempt to break through the front doors, Peter Jason actually hurt his shoulder. To this day, he states that the injury flares up on occasion. You may have noticed that whenever someone reaches towards or through a mirror, it's with their left hand. This is because, according to Christian belief, the left side is associated with evil. In sequences where a character reaches through a mirror, Mercury was used. This Mercury had been borrowed from on-set cranes and hydraulic dollies. Additionally, the hand/arm we see reach through, it is a prosthetic due to Mercury being quite poisonous. The scene where Catherine throws herself and Kelly into the mirror was one that scared Blount. This was because of how dark the water was and her uncertainty in holding her breath. The initial concept for Prince of Darkness came from Debra Hill. She had told Carpenter of a dream she had of a dark figure exiting a church that filled her with dread, so Carpenter aimed to recreate this same dread. After being frustrated with studios and the box office failure of Big Trouble in Little China, 1986, Carpenter decided he wanted to make a dreadful, atmospheric film based on quantum mechanics and religion. This would be his first independent film since Escape from New York, 1981. Carpenter wrote the roles of Dirac, the priest, and Walter, with Victor Wong, Donald Pleasence, and Dennis Dunn in mind. Professor Howard Dirac is most likely a reference to Paul Dirac, a physicist and mathematician who made contributions to quantum mechanics and predicted antimatter, among many other things. Even in the script, Donald Pleasence's character is only known as the priest. Jameson Parker was still recovering from a leg injury he had obtained during filming of Simon and Simon, 1981. He would have to rest in his trailer on occasion while shooting Prince of Darkness. Peter Jason, who worked on several movies with Carpenter, stated that he'd only seen the director get upset once. He stated, "You got disappointed with one person. I won't say who it was, but that person couldn't get their line right. Every movie I've ever done with you, I've never seen you lose your cool, but you were so upset with that one person." Peter Jason scared Donald Pleasence quite a bit one time. Apparently, Pleasence wasn't fond of driving, and had even arrived late to the first day of filming due to getting lost, so the cast and crew would drive him to and from set. According to Jason, during the time in which it was his turn, I got to take him back home to the Chateau Marmont one day, and I'm telling you, it was the most fun I ever had. He was scared to death the whole way. Apparently, there were rather frightening masks created for the film. The reason why we never saw them is because they were destroyed in a fire while filming was in progress. How Alice Cooper got the part of the leader of the possessed homeless happened when he asked Carpenter if he could come to set to watch a special effect. This was after his producer, Shep Gordon, who was working on this film, asked Cooper to write a song for it, this being The Prince of Darkness, which we hear when he kills Etchinson. After some time, Carpenter offered Cooper the role, telling him to act brain-dead and emotionless. At some point, Jason had suggested each of the people who got possessed represent the 7 deadly sins. However, Carpenter decided against this idea as it would require rewrites. The film was shot in a little over 30 days. The location of the church used for exterior shots of St. Goodhart's is 120 Judge John Asos Street, which is just 2 blocks from Los Angeles City Hall. The movie's score was created in 4 to 5 weeks. Carpenter stated, "All my scores are basically improvised. There's 2 kinds of scoring in movies. One is the kind of underscore, minimalist idea, and one is Mickey Mousing. For instance, in King Kong, every step that King Kong made is scored bomb, 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 bomb. Every emotion is scored. That's Mickey Mousing. Everything is scored so heavily that you haven't got a chance to miss anything. John Williams is the biggest, most famous Mickey Mouser of all." Robert Graysmere has the head prop from the scene where Wyndham gives his message to the rest of the group. He keeps it in a box in his closet because even looking at it unsettles him. Alice Cooper wants to see a sequel of Prince of Darkness. He has stated that it's ripe for a sequel and he'd like to see more than the anti-god's hand. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like to let me know. See you later.